First thing I noticed about the guitar is how uncompressed the audio sounds. So a lot of acoustic guitars, especially cheaper ones, you might have the sound as you play louder might actually feel like it gets quieter in a sense where all the harmonics and stuff just compress together. They don't sound open. So this guitar felt really open, especially at the very first when I hit it real hard at the top of the song. I don't hear any compression on that, which is amazing. So that has to do a lot with the quality of the wood that this is made out of. So very nice. It plays really well. Love the action of it. So it's easy to tune. I love these tuners. They're very precise. Like when you turn it, it's very precise in how it gets it in tune, and then it stays in tune as you go up the fretboard. So yeah, that's another thing I noticed about it and love it. The body size is a bit thinner of a guitar, which normally you would think might not be super resonant or loud, but it's great in all of those areas. And I also noticed when I started picking it, it didn't lose any of the integrity of the audio either there. Sometimes if the wood is too thick, in a guitar body, it'll start sounding dull. The brightness will go away. But it's very clear. Yeah, this is one of my more favorite guitars, for sure. I love it. I've actually really wanted to get one of these for a while, so. All right, so the 0018, beautiful guitar. The back is East Indian rosewood. Beautiful, beautiful back finish. So the front of it is spruce. I love the deep yellow of that. It's got the tortoise-pattern pickguard here. Both the bridge and the fretboard are ebony, which is, love the deep colors in this guitar. We got mahogany for the neck, and the front plate is actually also the East Indian rosewood. So just a really beautiful made guitar, and the woods that it's made out of clearly are very sonically pleasing. The side of this guitar is actually also genuine mahogany, so the sides and the neck, actually when you look at it, it looks like one continuous pattern. It's really cool. Martins are known for the X brace on this guitar. You can't see it, it's up here on the front though. Very specific to the Martins and the way they sound. It's great. And this particular guitar is 14 frets, so you have 14 frets up until the body of the guitar. So if you playing some high stuff up here, you can play that with ease. So I love that. As a pro guitar player, and I love studio and I also play live, both are important to me, right? And I mentioned earlier the uncompressed sound of the audio, which in both settings would be, especially in the recording world, but in both settings would just be incredible and ideal to have. I'm so picky sonically because of both of those things, studio and live. And this is definitely one would love to have in my collection, whether you're a worship leader, leading for a smaller church, a group of people, if you're doing a small community group or whatever it is. It's very inspiring, I would say. And so, as a player, that's one thing you look for in a guitar. This particular guitar does not have a pickup in it, right? But it's very easy to have, Martin add a pickup, whether it's LR bags. Those are probably some of my favorite. I actually have a Martin that has LR bags in it, and it's great sounding for the road. Studio, you don't necessarily need a pickup. Actually, sometimes I do both mic it sonically with a microphone and use the DI, because it's you just get a little bit different tone out of the guitar. If you're only using it for studio, it's up to you if you want to get a pickup in it or not. I would definitely recommend the LR bags, or you can kind of do a bit more research on the other pickups. They have a few other systems that are all really, really great. Every instrument, you sit down and it feels like it pulls something different out of you, right? Whether it's you're playing a piano or a guitar, but each instrument itself feels like it has its own story. Yeah, when I play this one, it feels very congregational. I don't know why. I know that might be random, but yeah, it really kind of it speaks in a worship setting, I would say. So. It's actually pretty crazy. I'm just now kind of realizing this, but because of the way it resonates, it just picks up those little details. So I love that about this guitar right here. It also I mean, it stays perfectly in tune as you go up the fretboard. Yeah, that's pretty incredible too. Because right, if you're playing a song that you keep wanting to go up the fretboard, none of those were out of tune, which is pretty like. There's a lot of guitars I play, you know, that might start sounding a little bit off here or there. So just the fretting of this instrument is incredible. So it's really cool to me that as I go between and the integrity of the sound is 100% the same, right? It doesn't feel compressed, it doesn't feel like it gets darker. If I really hit it, and it's usually the initial attack, right, of when you hit the pick, that sometimes a guitar, you know, if it's not well made, or just depends on the wood, will kind of compress that initial attack, and it almost sounds lifeless. That does not sound lifeless at all. And in that, even as you lighten up on it, it keeps that same bright, it's like the sonic character from when I'm playing it heavily to when I play it light. It doesn't change at all, which especially as a producer, I appreciate, because you're not going in there with an EQ and like, when you're playing it hard, it's like, oh, that has too many low mids in it, and you're trying to scoop that out. And then when you start playing it light, you're like, oh, now it sounds too thin and brittle, right? It actually, across the board, sonically, just keeps the character of the guitar, which is something I look for while tracking. It feels like worship to me, so something a little bit nicer. It's not, I wouldn't wear my PJs and play this one specifically. I mean, I definitely would still play this in my PJs, but when I pick up the guitar, yeah, I kind of think some nicer jeans, actually something like this outfit, I think was pretty fitting for this guitar. Maybe not overly flashy, but nice. Obviously, each guitar is gonna have its own price point, which is, you know, on the mid to upper end. As a pro player, you know, I would expect to spend definitely around that for sure on any instrument that I get, any guitar I get. So for me, it's, you know, definitely a reasonable price, especially for the sound that you get in this. It's about what it inspires out of you, right? If you're a songwriter, the songs that it can bring out of you. If you're a worship leader, it's part of the tool that you use to lead people in worship, lead people to the throne room, to the cross, right? Just to have a guitar that is inspiring, both as a writer, as a player, as a worship leader. But if you're someone that's looking for a guitar as a worship leader, as a writer, it's definitely worth it as far as inspiration goes, you know, so it's up to you to decide for yourself with your budget, but for me, it's pretty inspiring.